Hey, everyone, here are some tips for building or buying a fish tank aquarium on a budget. The first one is, like anything that you do on a budget, is to shop sales. So, for instance, Petco has their dollar per gallon sales quite a few times per year. So you can save about half of what you spend at regular price during their dollar per gallon sales. I know a few other pet stores do this sale as well. I believe like Pet Supply Plus does it. So you can buy a 20 gallon long or 20 gallon tall tank for $20. Normally I think they're like around 40 or $50. And I think they go up to, it's either 55 or 75 gallons for those sales. But some of the bigger tanks are just half off instead of the dollar per gallon. But you can still save quite a bit of money just by shopping dollar per gallon sales. And of course, just sales in general. I mean, PetSmart has sales on their tanks all the time, on their tank kits all the time. So first thing is, of course, to shop sales, like any type of budgeting thing in this life. Tip number 2 here is to actually shop Amazon. This is my 20 gallon long. It looks a bit bad right now because I literally just did a water change right before this video. Which is why we're focusing on my 45, not this tank right now. But this is a Night Crew LED light that is on here. It is about half the price of what you would spend on an aquarium light from PetSmart or Petco. Some of the name brand ones like Aquarium, Fluval, Marineland. And it is just as good. This is actually in the lowest setting, and it is very nice and bright. Turn the thing up all the way, it is super duper bright. Again, this is about half the price of what you'll spend at PetSmart or Petco on one of the name brands. So again, shop Amazon. The biggest thing I like to shop on Amazon for aquarium stuff is the lights. And again, there's a whole bunch of different brands, including this Night Crew, which again is an excellent tank, and even comes with a remote for it, tank light. It comes with a remote and everything, whole bunch of different lights and different features on it. Again, for about half the price, if not even less than half the price of what you'll spend at PetSmart or Petco or one of the big box stores on their LED lights, name brand ones. This is again just as good, if not even better, as most of these do tell you like their wattages. So yeah, so shop Amazon. Of course, like anything on Amazon, they have good deals. Now, if you're looking for a tank kit, especially like 5 or 10 gallon ones, go to Walmart. Actually, I usually don't like recommending Walmart because Walmart is Walmart. But they do have their aquaculture tanks. They are actually pretty dang cheap. You can get a 5 or 10 gallon tank kit. That includes the, of course, glass tank, the LED lights that are built to the hood, and a filter, so decent filter, for around $30 for either a 5 or 10 gallon tank kit. Otherwise, PetSmart also has, again, tanks that are on sale. You can get them for around the same price. And then one more tip here in general is to make sure you're buying the correct things for the size of your tank. So most heaters and filters will say what size tank they are made for. Now I always like to go up a bit on filters because usually they're a bit low on the recommendations. So the heater says up to like a, say, 20 gallon tank. I like to put in, say, up to a 30 or 40 gallon tank filter in that 20 gallon tank. Hopefully that makes some sense. But also for heaters too, they do the same thing. They'll say, wattage, and then they'll say what size tank they're actually for. So I've noticed actually on heaters is that different brands can have the same wattage, but they'll have different recommendations for tank size. So you want to make sure you're looking at whatever tank size they are recommended for. Again, filters, I go up a little bit more. And then two, just make sure if you're buying fake plants and decorations and whatnot, make sure they are not going to hurt your fish, especially plants, especially if you buy cheap plants. The cheap plastic ones, they can be super pointy and harmful to your fish. Depending on what type of fish you have, this can be a bigger impact. So if you have like bubble eye goldfish and you have something pointy in there, like even my purple plants there, they could actually pop their bubble eyes, which is very bad. And other fish just don't care, like my swordtails, they don't, it doesn't hurt them whatsoever. So just make sure too that your stuff you're buying is not super pointy. That goes for caves and things of that nature, because if they are even little bits of pointy points on them, for the fish to go into. So they have a small opening, but there's a little bit of pointiness in that opening. You don't want your fish to be going through that opening and then scraping themselves and hurting themselves. So again, just make sure you're buying appropriate stuff for your size of your tank as well as what fish you have. And when things are super cheap, just make sure they're not going to hurt your fish in any way. So there are, I think, 4 tips for you. Thank you guys very much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate you. Hope you have a good one. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.